Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Time to take that walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. I think this is the last one that I bought from Finchs Beer Company. They're out of Chicago, Illinois. The only fuss I got about this beer company, guys, is they don't date their stuff. They take the time to write something silly on the bottom of the can usually. And this one says drink Finch. They took the time to write that instead of putting when it was put in the can. I got a problem with that. They want to write something silly like drink Finch's on there instead of putting canned on in this date. As far as I'm concerned, guys, you need to step up to the plate. You took the time to write something specific on all three of the beers that I bought from you, but you chose not to put the date that was put in the can. And from what I hear, that you date either the 6-pack or the cases, which is asinine. But you want to have a machine there that's going to stamp something silly on the bottom of the can like drink Finch's. Here's a hot tip. Print the canned on date on the bottom of it instead of drink Finch's, because without that canned on date on the can, we're not going to drink any more Finch's. Kind of disappointing in them that they do that silly ass shit and don't actually print a canned on date on the beers. This is a stout, and typically usually the stouts will keep for a while if they are 7% or bigger. This is only a 5.3% stout. So this is not going to keep for a long time. So they need to wake up and smell the roses and put the canned on date on the bottom of the can. If this was available in Virginia, I would let it sit on the shelf. I would not buy it again. I actually bought this in North Carolina just to review it for you guys. And I bought 3 and I bought 1 of each. I didn't buy any more than 1 because it had no canned on date. And if it does show up in Virginia and it does not have a canned on date, it will sit on the shelf as far as I'm concerned. But I want to get this last one out of the fridge and get it reviewed because I have no idea how old it is. So, with that being said, let's get on with this one. Definitely don't want this to be a massively long video because they're not worthy as far as I'm concerned. The commercial description on this beer, I don't have the IBUs. This is a 5.3%er. Very colorful can. They evidently think it's more important to have some colorful artwork on the can than to have the information that we need as beer drinkers on the bottom. Commercial description says, Secret Stache Stout is a robust stout. The specialty ingredients, vanilla bean and lactose, lend to its complexity and full flavor. While no actual chocolate was used to brew this beer, heaps of chocolate malt give the beer its color as well as its chocolate and coffee notes. Food pairings for this style of beer, guys. Cuisine is barbecue, cheeses, buttery brie gouda, Havarti Swiss. The earthy cheeses, Camembert Fontina. And since it is a stout, it goes well with your chocolate dishes, of course. The meat is beef, shellfish, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat. Glass bars, pint, becker, nonic, tumbler, mug, stainless steel. Decided to bring the double glass out for this just to enhance the aromas a little bit. And it's not recommended for extended cellarings. And that's the key thing there, why I should have a canned on date on the bottom. So, let's pop. This is a big can, it's a 16 ounces. Very black coming out of the can. I can see a little bit of light through the pour though. But I got a feeling in the glass, it's not going to show very much light through it. And it does not. It is pitch black in this big bulb double glass. Cannot get any light. Not even seeing anything around the thinner part. Not getting any ruby tinges of it. So this is a pretty dark beer. Very typical of what most stouts look like in the glass. Very dark. Let's get a nose on it. Nice chocolatey aroma. For something that has no cocoa nibs or brewed with any kind of chocolate, a nice chocolatey nose on the beer. And that's what's so disappointing to me. I mean, I call out these beer companies a lot of times, and it's not personal. I mean, it's business. It's what should be done. It's the correct thing to do. But when they choose not to do that, that's when I call them out. That's when I get a little aggravated, because they want to write something silly on the bottom of the can like Drink Finchs. They got a machine that's printing that on the bottom of each can, but they choose not to put the canned on date. So I got a serious problem with that. If they didn't have anything on the bottom of the can, it would be a different story. We can't afford it, or this or that. But they can afford it, and they have the machine to set up to the print on the bottom of the can, Drink Finchs. Well, we'll drink more Finchs when you realize that the can on date is more important than Drink Finchs. God almighty. I don't know what these guys think sometimes. I really don't. Chocolate, roasted malt. Slight metallic smell to it too, which usually goes away as the beer warms up. Cocoa. Maybe a hint of some coffee in there. Very nice aroma on this beer. That's what's so disappointing. And they make when they make great beers and they choose not to date it, it chaps my ass. Especially when they're printing something silly on the bottom of the can like Drink Finchs instead of the can on date. Just slap them right in the bell. I'm not going off any further though. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about the dating. Finchs. Step up to the plate, date your shit, stop writing. Drink Finchs. We'll drink more Finchs when you start dating your cans. Cheers, everybody. Very nice. Very tasty. A little on the thin side. And usually that's because of the low ABV. Beer being a 5.3%er. Usually as the ABV increases, they use the more malt. And they did use lactose according to what it says here, which usually lends to be a little sweeter beer because the yeast can't eat those sugars up. More, to me, like an English style stout. With the thinness of the body and the sweetness of the lactose. This seems to be more in the English style stout than an American stout. Not so much metallic taste now that I've sipped on it a couple of times. It's going away quickly. But it is a little on the thin on the body side. I am getting the chocolate. I am getting the rich roasted malt, almost to the burnt characteristics. A hint of some coffee, not a big coffee flavor. And definitely the lactose is detected from the sweetness of the beer. But it's right out of the fridge, 40 degrees. Let me let her taste it and come back shortly and do the final chug. I may even fire up a small cigar to go with this and let it warm up to room temperature, and we'll do the final chug. I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, I'm back. Got this little left here. Very enjoyable beer. Very nice, to me, entry-level stout. Beer Advocate calls it an American stout. To me, it's more like an English stout to me, an English sweet stout. And Rate Beer calls it a sweet stout, which it is because they use lactose in the brewing of this beer. But it's got a very thin mouthfeel, very thin on the body. It's got a nice sweetness to it with the lactose I used in it. But what sticks in my craw is they take the time to print Drink Finchs on the bottom and not print a canned on date. So, got a problem with that, guys. I really do. Very nice smelling. The head didn't stick around very long. It stuck around about as long as the date on the bottom of the can did. Gone. Final chug. A very nice beer, guys. It really is. A nice entry-level stout, if you will, in my opinion. Very nice sweetness to it. Hardly any bitterness at all. Thin mouth, thin body. I am getting a little bit of the cocoa or chocolate in there, even though they didn't use any chocolate in the brewing of it. Just a hint of some coffee. Just a slight hint of some coffee. I'm not getting any dark fruit or any of that kind of stuff. Typical low ABV sweet stout. To me, guys, this, if it had a date on the bottom of the can, I would probably give it to 8, which is an A-. But since it has no date on it, being a 5.3%er, we kind of need that information. If it was a 8, 9, 10%er or bigger beer, it wouldn't be that critical not to have a date. A year would be nice, so we know what the vintage is of it, but with a 5.3%er, we kind of want to know when it was put in the can. So, with that being said, to me, guys, this is an A- beer in a B+ can, and that's where I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it to 7, which is a B+. Very well made beer, it is. It's that they choose not to date their stuff on the cans. From what I hear, they either date the 6-pack or the case or something silly like that, like we're going to buy that many of them at one time. I never do. Unless I've had that beer before and I know it's a great beer, I don't buy that many of them at one time. So, with that being said, until they can learn that the date on the bottom of the can is more important than Drink Finchs, and they're printing that on every can. The other 2 cans that I had has some other kind of silly-ass code along with Drink Finchs on the bottom of the can. This one just has Drink Finchs on it. So they take the time to print that on every can, but they don't choose to print the date that it was put in the can. And I think that sucks. I really do. So, Finch, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. I would not buy this beer if it was on the shelves in Virginia without a date on the bottom of the can. Bottom line. Alright, 7 for me, guys. B+. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 87 in the very good range. It is a very good beer. A nice entry-level stout, if you will, to me, with that low of ABV beer. So, that's where I'm going to leave it. Over to Rate Beer, they say overall 98 and 98 in the style. So, impressive numbers from the guys over there at Rate Beer. I wouldn't go there. It is definitely not a 98 in my book, especially since it has no date on the can. So, with that being said, if you've had this one, their Secret Stache Stout from Finchs Beer Company out of Chicago, Illinois. Let me know what you think, guys. And if you know the guys there at Finchs, ask them what the hell's wrong with them. Why can't they put a date on the bottom of the can? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. So, it's the way it is in the beer world. Some are winners, some are losers. This is right in between. So, B+ for me, guys. If you've had it, let me know what you think. Let's go see what's in the fridge tomorrow. See you then.